Good morning, everybody. Today we have to start with a new unit which is about chemical reactions. The first chapter in this unit is chapter 6, Chemical Equations. The first objective that we are going to explain it today is to be able to distinguish between two changes, physical change and chemical change. The second objective is to identify the visible signs that indicates the presence of a chemical change. Let's start first with the physical change. What do we mean by a physical change? It's a change that does not affect the identity of the substance, which means that it does not change it into another substance. So during a physical change, there is no formation of a new substance. The identity of the substance remains the same. It's only a change in the shape or in the size of the substance without affecting its identity. The substance remains the same. It changes its physical state, for example, melting from solid to liquid, freezing from liquid to solid, condensation from gas into liquid, and so on. Let's take the following examples. The first one, boiling of water. It's a physical change. It's a change from liquid into gas. The second, here we have melting of ice cream, slicing of bread, and painting of walls. All of them are called physical changes, since the identity of the substance remains the same. The substance does not change or does not transform into another substance. Now let's start with the chemical change. A chemical change is the change that affects the identity of the substance, which means that we will observe the formation of new substances during a chemical change. What are the visible signs or the evidences that enable us to identify chemical changes? Like, for example, a change in the color, formation of a precipitate, release of gas, and exchange in energy. Here don't forget that you can take three forms of energies: heat energy, electric energy, or light energy. Now let's start with the first visible sign, which is a change in color. For example, like the browning of an apple. The browning of an apple, it's a chemical change, since the color of this apple changes into brown, which indicates the formation of a new substance. For example, the change in the color of the tree leaves during autumn, also it's a sign that it's a chemical reaction. So one of the visible signs is the change in the color. The second visible sign that indicates the presence of a chemical change is the formation of a precipitate. For example, take the two colorless liquids, potassium iodide and lead nitrate. Upon mixing these two colorless liquids, we will observe the formation of a yellow solid. This solid is called a precipitate that will precipitate at the bottom of the beaker. So the obtained precipitate, it's a visible sign indicating that this change is a chemical change. Another visible sign is the release of gas. The release of gas, which is observed through the formation of bubbles, effervescence. For example, if we put a piece of chalk in an acidic solution, we will observe the formation of effervescence. This effervescence indicates the release of gas. This gas is a new substance, indicating that this change is a chemical change. The last visible sign that indicates the presence of a chemical reaction is the exchange in energy. The first form of energy is thermal or heat energy. Here we have two types of thermal effect. It's either exothermic or endothermic. Exothermic if the temperature increases during the chemical reaction. Endothermic when the temperature decreases during the chemical reaction. The second form of energy is light energy. Take the following example, burning of magnesium. Upon burning a piece of magnesium, it reacts with oxygen gas, leads to the formation of a light energy. Look at here, we have the formation of light energy. Also, it leads to the formation of heat energy. It's an exothermic reaction since it's a combustion reaction, it's a burning reaction. Last form of energy is the electric energy. Some chemical reactions may produce an electric energy. For example, the chemical reactions in batteries, which changes the chemical energy into electric energy.